you go down to the ice today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go down in the ice today, you better come in disguise. For every bear that ever there was will gather here together, because today's the day we're going to read a story. Hello everybody, it's Miss Chambers here. Can you guess who I'm dressed up as today? That's right, I do look like a bear, but what kind of bear am I today? Let's have some clues. So I'm very white, and I've got my little ears and my brown nose, and I've got my scarf around my neck. Can anyone guess what kind of bear I am? That's right, I'm a polar bear. Today I'm going to be reading you a story all about a polar bear. So I've brought my polar bear friends with me. Here he is. This is Mr. Polar Bear. And then this is Mrs. Polar Bear. And we're all going to read this story for you today. Does anybody know where polar bears live? Normally the song that we sing is about bears going in the woods, isn't it? But today it's not going to be about that. It's going to be about bears that live near the ice. So let's see if you can join in with my song again. And we're going to sing not about bears in the woods, but about polar bears in the ice. Are you ready? If you go down in the ice today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go down in the ice today, you better come in disguise. For every bear that ever there was will gather here together, because today's the day the polar bears had their picnic. Well done everybody, fantastic. Now, are you ready to look at our story? I'm just going to put these polar bears away, they will come back into our story later. So today's story is called The Bear That Went Boo! Can you join that title with me? The Bear That Went Boo! One more time. The Bear That Went Boo! We're going to have to use our loud and proud voices today in this story. We're going to be shouting really loud, boo, at the top of our voices. So get your voices all warmed up and ready. This book is called The Bear That Went Boo, and it's by a man called David Walliams. It's a very funny story. Should we have a look inside? Okay. So, I can see a polar bear. The polar bear is sitting on some... That's right, the polar bear is sitting on some snow. So we're not reading stories about bears that live in woods today. We're reading stories about bears that live in a place called the Arctic. And that is a place that is very icy and very snowy. So that is why Miss Chambers has got her scarf on, because I'm ready to get into this story, into the cold story, and then we'll have some fun. So listening ears on, are we ready? At the top of the world lived a very cheeky polar bear. He was only little, but he loved giving the animals a great big fright. Slowly and surely he would creep up behind them, and he would go, boo! What would he say? Boo! That's right, he would say boo! The poor creatures would shriek as the little cub would roll around, hooting with laughter. Look at this poor animal here. He's given them a nasty fright, and he's rolling around with laughter because he thinks it's really funny. This is the little cub's mama. The little cub's mama would ask him time and time again, how would you like it if somebody went boo to you and made you jump? But little bear would not listen. All the cub wanted to do was to be as big and fearsome as his papa. So he thought if he could go around scaring everybody, he would turn out to be big and fearsome like his daddy. Would you like it if somebody came up behind you and said, "Boo!" to you? It would give you a bit of a fright, wouldn't it? And that's what his mummy was telling him. One morning, a helicopter came to the Arctic. Can you see that there? The helicopter. It came to the Arctic because somebody in the helicopter wanted to come and make a television show. He wanted to take photographs of all the animals that lived in the Arctic and put them on the television. The animals were going to be famous. They began making themselves look beautiful for the cameras. Now this animal here is called a walrus. What is he called? A walrus. The wrinkly walrus wanted to top up his tan, so he decided to sunbathe. The little cub crept up behind him and he said, "Boo!" What did he say? Boo! He said boo, and the walrus said, "Ah!" The walrus was so shocked, he kicked up his back flippers. His tusks became skis as he zoomed across the zoo. Whizz! Can you see here? He's fallen on his tusks and he's whizzed across the snow. What a naughty bear. Meanwhile, a platoon of puffins presented their feathers. Can you see these birds here? Hold it up for you. These are called puffins. What are they called? Puffins, that's right. Time to do boo too. He crept up behind the puffins and he said, "Boo!" What did he say? Boo! Oh no, the puffins were startled and so they said, "Caw, caw, 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 caw." And the puffins tried to take flight all at once. Their wings walloped and their beaks bashed. They were not very happy puffins. Oh dear, he's done it again, hasn't he? The poor birds crashed headfirst into an iceberg. Wallop! There was no stopping the little cub now. Can you see, children? The puffins were so scared and they were flapping their wings so much that they crashed into this. This is called an iceberg. And the sound went wallop. What did it say? Wallop. That's right. The puffins were not very happy. Next, he sawed down a hole in the ice sheet with his paw before diving down into the freezing water below. Time to do an underwater boo. The little cub spied a pair of killer whales. Can you see these, children? These are called killer whales. What are they called? That's right, killer whales. And they were practicing a synchronized swimming routine. That means they were doing their swimming at the same time, copying each other. Ready for the cameras, the little bear swam down behind the killer whales. And what do you think he did? He said, "Boo!" What did he say? Boo! He scared the killer whales. The killer whales smashed through the ice, up, up, up into the air. Blub, 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 blub. Can you see? They were so scared that they smashed through the ice. Oh no, those poor killer whales must have been so scared. Then the first belly flopped onto the ice, and then the more blubbery of the two landed on top of his poor friend with a boing, boing, boing. What did they say? Boing, boing, boing. Poor whales. As the sun was setting over the Arctic, the cheeky little cub spotted a very odd-looking animal he had never seen before. You see him? He spotted this animal. It was a person. The person was looking at the snowy owl with his cameras. These were the people that were going to put the animals on TV. And he said, "This snowy owl," the little bear thought. "I can't resist," he said. So he crouched down behind the man, and he did what he did all the time. A final boo! What did he do? He said, "Boo!" That's right, he said boo, and splash! The poor man leapt backwards and fell with a giant plop into the sea. Can we see, children? The man has fallen splash into the sea. Can you see his little feet in the air? And then, because it was so cold in the water, when he clambered out, he was encased in a block of ice. The man was inside a block of ice. Oh no. What has the polar bear done now? The man was furious. Can you do your furious face? The man was furious. He was so angry. His face glowed bright red like a tomato, and the ice soon began to melt. And he said, "In all my years, I have never seen a polar bear behave like that. I have had an octopus tickling me." So he said that he had an octopus tickling him. Next he said, "I have been sat on by a rhinoceros." You see, a rhinoceros had sat on him. Then he said, "And even a family of gorillas ate my underpants." Oh dear. Can we see here? The gorillas ate the man's pants. Oh my goodness me, all those naughty animals. But he said, "You, polar bear, are the worst. Nobody has ever made me jump like that and made me splash into the water." He was not very happy. He said to him, "What species are you?" He was asking him what type of animal he was. The polar bear thought, "Ooh, I can't tell him." So he did a lie. He said, "I'm a penguin." Is he a penguin? No, he was telling a lie, wasn't he? The man said, "You are not a penguin." Can you see here? Here's the man. "You are not a penguin. Penguins live in the Antarctic, not the Arctic." "Oh," said the polar bear. "Okay, I'm a polar bear." The man said, "Yes, you are, and a tiny one at that. Well, you have ruined the TV for all the other animals." You see, the man is looking very cross, and the polar bear is looking very scared of the man. The man is cross because he pushed him into the ice, and he has ruined the TV all for the other animals. "I am not making my television program here anymore." And he said, I'm going to go to the Antarctica and make a show about penguins instead. What? Said the animals. You see their shocked faces. And they said, what? Oh, dear me. As the little cub watched the helicopter leave, all the animals gathered. Now they were going to miss their chance to be famous. It's time we teach that little bear a lesson, said the walrus. Oh, they're not very happy with the polar bear, are they? All the animals are feeling angry at the polar bear. The walrus even said, it's time to teach him a lesson for making them so scared and making the man go away. Oh dear, I wonder what they're going to do. What do you think the animals are going to do? Shall we find out? So, the little bear trudged back home, you see. But as he entered his snow cave, he stopped. He looked around. It was very quiet. And suddenly, boo! Oh, the animals were there. Look, what are they doing, everybody? They're shouting, boo! What did they say, everyone? Boo! What did they say? Boo! What did they say? Boo! That's right. They're doing it back to the polar bear. The little polar bear's fur stood on end and he screamed, ah! Mama Bear was right. He didn't like it when people did that to him one bit. You see how scared he is? Have a look at his picture there. Ah! They frightened him so much. The little cub had learned his lesson. From that moment, he promised never, ever to boo anyone again. Well, maybe one last time. Boo! Boo! And he did. And you see, he did one last boo for the animals. See in big letters there. Boo! What did he say? Boo! That's right. Oh, that was such a lovely story, wasn't it, Red Base? I got to use my voice loud and proud. Maybe now you could stop the video and put it to the beginning, and maybe you could have a go at joining in with the boos now that you know that they're coming. Ooh, now I know that little polar bear was a little bit naughty, wasn't he? He was going around telling all the animals jump, including the man who fell in the water, by shouting boo behind them. But I think sometimes it's funny to do it to your friends or brothers and sisters just once. And if they say, no, I don't like that, then that's fine. But, I wonder who you could make jump when you say boo! I hope you enjoyed the story, everybody, and I will see you next week for another one. All right. Oh, I forgot. Let's say bye-bye to the polar bears. You say bye-bye to this polar bear. Bye-bye, everybody. I'm glad you enjoyed the story. And then where's the other one? Let's say bye-bye to this polar bear. Bye-bye, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the story. And so from us, we're going to leave you with one final